Alright, today I have an update again on my sign collection, and this is more of what we've been seeing in the sports card groups here. People wanting to redo their card rooms, and they wanted some input on what they need to be doing or what they should be doing. You never know, you might have people just commenting things that is already obvious to you. You might not find anything, or you might just say, aha, I have an aha moment. It just takes one person to mention, like maybe a store or a way to dispose of or repurpose things. And so I'll just show you what's going on here. I haven't really mentioned this, but essentially all the videos I make on my YouTube channel currently are at this one location. I had two locations, now I'm down to one, if that makes sense here. So everything is now here. Some of my older YouTube videos, my card room was filmed in another location, and so on and so forth. So I have double the amount of stuff. And I've been mentioning that in some of my videos. I'm kind of awash in things here. Things like a vintage cash register that was not in this garage slash barn here. It's essentially shaped like a barn, but more like a garage. So, and my baseball bat collection got moved over to this way, and some furniture I'm storing for some people, and another, a rug that I need to probably throw away. If I put it out for free, there's a damaged spot on it, it needs to be cleaned, but it's too big to throw in my garbage. So, and there's some of my signs there. There's just a generic lake sign that somebody made, but I don't know anything about that. So that will probably go, and maybe even the same with ranch cabins. I don't know what somebody would pay for those. I could throw them up on the dreaded eBay, but that might cost somebody $40 due to the shipping. And do they want essentially a 2x4 that's been turned into ranch cabins? But at the swap meet this weekend, that would have been probably a $25 listing there, and it might have sat. And somebody really needs that ranch cabin sign there. So one of the biggest problems I have here is not like displaying and and I have room to store things here. Underneath here, this table here is all kind of wood for very specialized things. There are some pieces like shingles, wooden shingles for houses and stuff like that, but for the most part I need to figure out how to get rid of all that wood, and a lot of these signs will be stored underneath this table if I could do that, the ones that are not currently being used. If you watch Sign Picker's video, he has a very nice, like I would say a Home Depot slash Lowe's type of setup there with the shelving and everything stacked nicely, but you do get the point where some of those signs will pinch your fingers if you have too many of them, and I was running into that at the swap meet. Just like 10 signs were getting very, very heavy. Alone, they're not very much at all. And then this wall here where that window is gets I took a leaf blower and cleaned some of the floor, but I didn't get all of it. And that gets very dirty and buggy there. And that light fixture there had a light bulb in there that I unscrewed. It was one of those LED bulbs or whatever, and then the other half stayed in there, so I don't know how to get that out of there. And then this is my main light source here, and there's a lamp back that way that I can plug into there. So there's two lights in here. And there's like a tabletop there. Unfortunately, it got warped over the years, and my dad saved that probably 40 plus years ago, and it would have made a really nice table, but unfortunately I don't know how to unwarp that, and it's got some paint damage on it and things. It was a nice piece of wood, but again, what do I do with that? So I might, I've just had that for decades, and again, as soon as I get rid of it, I'm going to be, oh great, now I need that for something. Again, I don't know how to flatten out that piece of wood without busting it. And then again, underneath here, I will repurpose that for some of these extra signs that I'm currently not displaying. And then there's my feed sacks there, which I will probably sell. I showed them in a video, but I think it's best to just, sell them at $5 a piece. And then here are the new signs that I just got. Never mind this chair here. Again, that was a chair that had to come back over this way. It's a very nice, expensive chair. It has no resale value, but it's very comfortable. You need to find a place to put that. But these are the new ones here. And the Chief Me Willette County Park there. And there is the previous Chief Me Willette County Park there. Kids' bikes that need to be probably got rid of. I got that for my niece, and would she be able to use that the next time she visits? I don't know. And there's my favorite bike, that silver bike there, but again, a fish, as I say a fish, but I had parked it over by my neighbor's pond, and there was a bird that ate a fish, and the fish scales were there, and I poked a hole in my tire with the fish scales, and I haven't gotten around to repairing the tire. Everything is just stupid expensive now, and so my bike just sits doing nothing there. And I got some stuff over here that's tarped, but you see, this basically has to be for irrigation. I say irrigation, but just, stuff, And these things I've used many times, and some things will not be used ever. There's some copper from a roof piece there. Will I use this stuff? I don't know. And there's some more signs way down to the bottom there. There's like a double, I believe that's Ackerman Street and Stadium Drive there from my local town there. And there's a road grader there, which I don't even know I have that. I just bought that because it was cool at the time, but it just in the way, And again, all these things will be kept here. All of this stuff is all keep. Again, that no parking sign, I saw similar things to like that for like $30, $40, $50, and in plastic too. That's a plastic sign. There's no value there. We'll do a few more minutes here. There's, I think that's Route 30. Yeah, I believe that's 30, Shield Route 30. And again, I saw one of those, but it was probably going to be like 75 bucks. I could put that, I didn't spend 70 bucks, practically on everything I got over the weekend. So I got 4 or 5 signs instead of one. I guess sometimes people have one sign, but in that North Fork Bridge Creek Drive or whatever, used to sit up there. But man, it just got so dirty, and it just such a warped and beat up sign. But I need to just kind of, find a way. Of course, Christmas trees and antlers there. Those are my grandparents' antlers, I believe. And again, I don't have anywhere to put those. And somebody says Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace these things here, but again, you say, okay, I want $30 or something like that, and then somebody say, well, how about 10, or no, I was looking for a different size, or these are damaged, I couldn't give those away, and stuff like that. So, and then I do put stuff at the end of the driveway for free, and one of my neighbors is like, when are you going to put some more free stuff out? He lives probably like about 35 seconds, 40 seconds down the road, so I call him a neighbor. But anyway, via drive, and I said, well, what do, and he just put out some more free stuff at the end. I said, like almost there was like a demand to do so, and there will be. But again, the rains and different, events that we had here was not feasible. And also the grass was like super high. Now it's all cut down. And I got to put things out that just don't get destroyed by the sun or the rain. And, other things, my Viewmaster slide should not be out here, but that just happened to be there. Another sign there. Lots and lots of tools, and some of these tools I use day in and day out. But then there's like some sort of garden aerating, kind of tool. I don't know, the red handle down here. It's got spikes on the end of it. I forget exactly what that is. I never use that. But that's probably going to cost me like 40 bucks to replace that, for me to get one. Some other display piece there that I got that was local, and I don't know. It looks like it's having some falling apart issues that shouldn't have had, but whatever. Just things get kind of musty out here. There's another sign which I've not been able to, that dark brown one back there, not been able to identify that one there. But again, it's just absolutely crazy insane how, and there's a rock collection. And the reason why I have the rock collection is because the previous neighbors here had some kids that were, I won't say they were stealing my rocks, but they were messing with the rocks, moving them, and they're very heavy. And they were all like these old fossils and rocks that the previous owner left here, and they were just decorative at the point. But I had to move all those rocks. Now I got to go and get everything requires, some sort of crazy lifting or some other thing that I am not ready to spend all afternoon to do all that. It all takes time, but and there's the stairs to go upwards there, but then an upwards thing there is not a great place to put. It would be an excellent place to put signs, but there's a very, very heavy door, very musty up there, so it needs some more air up there. And also, again, if the door was lighter to move, I would probably think about it. But again, it's like, you just want to basically be very, very careful with what you're doing anymore. If you're just, all by yourself and then just trying to get up those stairs and then push that door, and if that door comes down and you smash your head and you're like, your day is over, a security light that used to work. I don't know if that works anymore, but or maybe it needs a new bulb in there. probably that's all that needs, you know. Again, I don't know why, but I've been having problems with light bulbs sitting in these things here, and then the last of the old light bulbs before the curly Qs and the LEDs started to fail, and I think I got those at a Dollar Tree, and they started expanding and would come out of the thing. It got stuck, and then some of these new ones are getting stuck in the light sockets like that one there, so I have to figure that one out too. Again, I had all my signs, a lot of them laid out on the table there at one point, and I need to get that organized. And there's a cabinet with some model railroad stuff there, which I need to go through. But every car is, you know, higher quality than I think that I can get out of the value. See, the quality is not something you can replicate on some of those things, and then for the price that you want to get. You know, if you think it's like a $25 car, probably expect $5 out of it. And do I want to do that? Because that would be going back to breaking even or less from way back, you know, 15, 25 years when I bought those. But again, I don't need those, so that might be time to get rid of them. Logging operation sign, golf clubs, and all that kind of stuff. Again, there's just a Bonnie and Clyde sign there. And I was just putting signs there just to make that window not look so dirty. Because every week I will have to clean that window if I wanted to. Again, it's more work, and do I really want to do that? But there's not a good option for that. You know, I could close off the window, but again, that will go my light in this room here. I guess I don't have this door open here. And then there's another door here too, which needs to have some work done, and water gets in there, of course. But anyway, fun times. And of course, lastly, there is my Oxford County sign that I recently picked up there. I think I really got a good deal on that. My sign videos don't do very well because, you know, it's not really the community's there. You know, my card videos actually probably do even worse at times. But again, what do I do with all this stuff here? Because again, this stuff is needed at some point. But how many times, you know, I'm going to use that fishing pole or that ladder? But once I get rid of it, I won't, you know, won't have another one. I'll have to figure out what to do in the meantime. Yeah, there's all those wooden shingles there that I need to get stored somewhere else there, and some more boards and things like that, which eventually will be used. But, you know, at the moment, they're just not being used. And if I take these down to the free pile or truck them down to the swap meet and try to get dollars out of it, they're big items, take up a lot of space. So I guess that'll be the video today. It'll probably take about 4 or 5 hours to upload. But if you have any questions or concerns or any ideas of how I can improve this situation, again, once I get that wood out from underneath there, I can store my signs better. And I need to get rid of things like these seized up cash registers. I can't even get the door open. So I don't know what to do with that. You know, that's like 60 pounds, 50 or 60 pounds at least there. And there's a desk there that I don't need, and you know, all that fun stuff there. Again, I don't know. I hope everybody has a great week, and thank you for watching.